Apocalypse Daily, the 4th of June. I want to talk about psychology today in regards to politics. So, in psychology, there is a model called the Big Five model. Acronym is OCEAN. It is openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. These are different personality traits that are predictive of how you act in social situations, how you do learning new skills. They're very predictive of all sorts of things. Really interesting stuff, statistically derived, very well backed. Look it up. But the most important thing you need to understand about these traits right now is two of them, openness and conscientiousness. Those are the two on the table at the moment, because these two are often inversely related to each other. So if you're high in one, you're likely low in another, or lower in another. And politically, people on the left tend to be high openness, low conscientiousness. People on the right tend to be high conscientiousness, low openness. And I'm talking about left and right kind of as a dispositional sense. People who like things. So conscientiousness is for people who like things the way they are. They like them in their boxes. They like clear, defined borders and boundaries. They have a disgust sensitivity around free riding and around people not pulling their weight. They are usually a little bit less interested in the pain and suffering of others. Not so much that they don't care about it, they're just less interested in it. And they tend to be a lot more interested in functional hierarchies that produce good at the top, and if you don't you don't provide the good, you don't get to rise. And there's obviously a place for that in our society when it comes to medicine, when it comes to technology, when it comes to sport, anything that demands a high level of skill. You want the best to rise to the top, just by definition. I think that you wouldn't want that any other way. However, there is a danger, and this is where the people of high openness, low conscientiousness come in. These people like fluidity, they like an openness, they like a more permeable boundary or border, and they want the hierarchy to not get so steep as to completely just destroy the chances of anyone at the bottom, because that's also bad. And so they want the hierarchy to be malleable so that we can consistently have the best outcome possible. And these two personality traits, liberal with high open, low conscientious, conservative with high conscientious and low open, they tend to be in tension. And when we understand this about each other, that we're in a certain sense appealing to different values and different languages of values, it becomes much easier to reach solutions, because the other side doesn't become evil. They just become different and diverse, you could say, and which is actually fascinating to talk to people who are like, I, for example, crazy high openness and not very high conscientiousness, and I've been working on my conscientiousness because it's also predictive of success in a lot of areas in the world. And so as I have deliberately tried to increase my conscientiousness and understand that mindset from the inside out, conservatives had made much more sense to me now. They used to make a lot less. And people who meet me, who's crazy high in openness, they tend to, assuming that I can keep my cool in a discussion, they tend to understand liberals and more libertarian-minded people because they now have access to a mind that is high in openness as opposed to their own, especially someone who's willing to discuss, which that's the most important thing, is to understand that these people in front of you may have a different value system. They're not evil. They're not even necessarily wrong. These different personality traits have emerged in our culture for reasons. You need high conscientiousness people in some domains. You need high openness people in some domains. They provide different services. And if they can be in a tension, but in a dialogue and in an open understanding and tolerance of each other's different values, then we can start to make solutions, because everyone knows how to talk to each other, as opposed to just saying, here's what I want, therefore you should want it, and if you don't, you're a dick. That doesn't work. So that's my thought for today. Enjoy the education on psychology, because there's a lot out there. Look it up, and look up how to talk to the other side in ways that they'll understand, because it's invaluable, especially right now. So have fun out there. Be safe.